Hi, this is Amy Mikhaiel and welcome to Module 3. Owning and operating or managing a cleaning business can be so hectic. Managing a day in a cleaning business can go from answering the phone call to booking customers to handling complaints to getting back to emails and text messages or just looking for ways to do marketing or also social media. It can go very crazy, and time management is really important to have a day smooth and easy. Typical day in a cleaning business can go very crazy. You have to know your priorities. A typical day in my cleaning company would be coming to the office at 9 a.m. and finding hundreds of missed calls and hot leads and customers calling that the cleaners did not show up, or the opposite, which is cleaners go to work and the customers are not there. And you can go crazy, like what do you start with? I would always start with any customers that call and the cleaners did not show up, because that's critical. You don't want the customers to be waiting and your cleaners are not even there. So I would take that very urgently. I call my cleaners and see where they are. If they are very close or like late by few minutes, I will call the customers again. However, I don't have to deal with this anymore because my cleaners are really trained to call their customers by themselves. So it's only when there is no show up. It's literally when the cleaner is disappeared, like I don't know, for any reason. If the cleaner doesn't answer, I call my customer again, and I would immediately address that by apologizing first. You have to apologize to them, and then reschedule them and offer them a discount. Always, that's the first priority, is the no-show ups. And hopefully, by watching other trainings that I offer, how to train your cleaners, you won't have that no-show ups anymore, and that's the goal of any cleaning business owner. Now, in cancellation, you have the opposite, which is clients who cancel on site. So if my cleaners call and the customer is not answering or the door is not opening, I would call them. That's my second priority. And then once I call them and I get hold of them, sometimes they'll be running late or sometimes they don't answer, I will leave my cleaners on the site, on standby. Because what I'm gonna do, I will go back, and that's the priority number 2, which is go back to my missed calls and the phone calls. Remember those 20 calls that you have waiting for you? One of them at least needs a cleaning as soon as possible, and what I do, I will pick that customer and then send them to that cleaners who is already on standby and like redirect them to a new job. When you answer those missed calls in the morning, start by listening to all the voice messages, and however, don't go over every single one. I would listen to the voice messages and read the text messages and see who is looking for a cleaning as soon as possible, and then you're gonna send your cleaners to those leads. And then if you have a customer who is looking for a cleaning in the following day or next week or next month, then you can get to that like a little later. Now, the priority number 3 is to fill out your schedule as schedule and have appointments closer together rather than be all spaced out. Meaning, when you have those missed calls and you call back customers to book them, some of them they want to book in 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now. However, you wanna try to push the booking as soon as possible, as close as possible, because you wanna keep your cleaners busy. As a cleaning company owner, you all know that the biggest fear for us is to not keep our cleaners busy because they will go somewhere else if it's slow. So I would always try to manage and convince the customer to book sooner. Sometimes I would say, oh, we're booked next week, how about tomorrow, or like the day after, because you want it closer. Unless now if they say, oh, it has to be in a couple of weeks from now, that's another story. Then you don't want to miss that lead and you will book it on that day because they have an event or it has to be done on that day. Now, priority number 4, I would answer those questions. Now you have your recurring customers, and they will call you to either reschedule, or they have a question, or they ask for another service. I would go to all your social medias and all your lead platforms, either if it's it depends on what you use, if it's Yelp or Facebook, Thumbtack, Home Advisor, all the platforms that you use, and then check your inbox for your own recurring customers, because they always call you consistently. They asking for either changing the date or asking for an extra service. That's the priority number 4. You go and you answer them and make sure they have answers, and you get back to them as soon as you can. Remember, the key to customer service is getting back to your customers on time, as soon as possible. However, you know which is your priority, because your customers are already your customers. They're not going to go anywhere. They know you, they trust you, they know you will get back to them. Don't wait too long. However, they are not your number 1 priority. Your number 1 priority is cancellations, then hot leads, and then leads, and then your own customers. It is very important when you own a cleaning company that you set your hours and days, and your cleaners and your customers should know exactly when you start answering your phone calls and when your business hours are. I used to make this mistake in the beginning and the early stages of my business, where I had my cell phone with me and I would answer my phone all the time. I was like even not enjoying my weekends because I didn't want to miss any lead, and I would answer my phone even when I'm like in the park on a Sunday afternoon with my children, or in a party, or just whenever the customers call me. However, that drained me, and I highly recommend and encourage you to set your hours. If you are working 9 to 5, your cleaners should know that's the time. You leave a voice message on your phone that sorry, you reached the office after the business hours. If this is an emergency, send a text message or whatever. However, do not be available all the time, because you need to create balance in the business. And unless you communicate that with your cleaners, they won't know. I would also highly recommend you explain to your cleaners that these are my hours, these are the days that you can find me, yet they can always text you or call you if they have an emergency and they are canceling the second day, because you don't want to wake up to a no-show app. That's not a fun thing for any cleaning business owner to wake up to. As the day goes by now you answered your emails, you handled complaints, you talk to your cleaners, everything is smooth and everything is calmed down. What you're gonna work on is your schedule. You wanna check what's coming up next day, how is the schedule next week, call your cleaners, see their availabilities, and then you can also work on your marketing strategy, which is whatever platforms you're using. You work on your social media. You wanna be always present. 10 years ago when I started the business, we didn't have social media like we do right now, and the visibility of a cleaning company is very important, that you on a day-to-day try to post and share some tips, share some like your work, the before and after, your team. The more visible you are on social media, that's gonna bring your name visible to your friends, to your family, and then they will share that, and then when someone asks for a cleaning service, they remember you because you're always there and you're always visible. Another important thing that I would recommend on your day-to-day operation is, in order for your day to go smooth and easy and stress-less, is by training your cleaners to be independent. In the beginning of my cleaning company, I would have cleaners call me to ask for a parking, like we don't know where to park, or I would leave them like with the job order, I would give a note like the keys are under the mat, or call the customer when you get there. You know how it is. However, they would call me for the smallest things. That's time consuming. If I answer every single cleaner and answer the question on where to park and how to open the door, or how to, simplest things, that takes a lot of my time. So what I recommend, you train your cleaners to be independent, yet you want them also to communicate with you. And there is a very thin line between that, because you also want to encourage them to call the office if they having any issues, if they don't feel safe, if they don't feel comfortable at the customer, or if they have an issue getting payment, but also to know when to call the office and when not. That's going to save you a lot of time when you train your cleaners to know exactly when to call you and for exactly what questions. Okay, knowing your priorities when you manage your company, and knowing what goes first will save you a lot of time. Instead of dealing with nonsense, day-to-day small details, that's going to save you at least 30 minutes a day that you can use to promote for your service, or call customers to follow up with them, which is the second priority, number 5, which is follow up. I would follow up with every single new customer, and if you hire a new cleaning team, I would also highly recommend you call and follow up every single day. The good thing about following up is you catching the customer before they go online and share their experience, if it's not pleasant experience, of course, and that's gonna make you look professional. Because what I would do, the following day, I would call and say, hi, this is Amy, we served you yesterday. Call in person. That's actually more efficient than sending a text message or like an auto email. How was the cleaning? Let me know how was your experience. Do you have any comments? Would you say that, how do you rate our office staff? So collecting that feedback will make, first, it's gonna help you determine and make sure your teams are doing the right thing. Second, if the customer is not happy, or if there is any complaint, you have the chance to fix that before they go on the internet. So that's a very critical thing. Like, I would not go one day by following up. And then speaking of following up, that takes me to the next step or priority, which is the confirmation calls. So what I would do before you end the day, the last couple hours of your day, I would call tomorrow's customers and make sure we are booked, because you don't want cancellations. That's going to be a waste of a spot of a cleaning, and waste of your cleaners time and gas and babysitters, and then you're going to be tomorrow dealing with a cancellation. So take few minutes every single day before you close up your day. Call your customers. Hey, Mr. John, this is Amy. I'm confirming our appointment tomorrow at 9 a.m. And leave them a message if they don't answer, and then make sure you mention that if you can, please send me a text message to confirm your appointment, because we have a fee on cancellations, and that's how you avoid those cancellations the following day. Next thing on your day, I recommend that you, if you are doing some commercial cleaning and add in some offices, which is a very smart idea, be flexible to offer both commercial and residential. When you do commercial cleaning, you will be asked to go for an on-site estimate. So when I go do estimates, I used to go whenever the customers call me, like, oh, can you come Saturday, can you come Monday, can you come this time? And I would be yes, because I needed the job. However, what I learned over the years, it's when I go whenever they want me to go, I will go out of my way, and then I will mess up with my schedule, and now I have a lot of things to do on that day. So what I did is I came up with the idea to pick one day a week, and that's where I do my estimates. So when they call me and they say we want an estimate for an office, I will tell them, okay, Thursday is when I do estimates. What time you want me to come over? Now, there are some exceptions, which is if the potential office is, I don't know, it's like a warehouse 5 times a week, that's a really good deal. And they tell you, no, we can only do an estimate on Tuesdays. Then that's worth my time. I will go out of my way to do it. But most of the time I try to keep my estimates on one day, because that's usually the day where I don't go to my office and I do my estimates. Second of all, speaking of estimates, I do not recommend you do estimates for residential. So if someone calls you to say, hey, I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment or a house, and would you come for an estimate? That's really not worth your time. I would do it over the phone. If you have an hourly rate, give them the hourly rate. If you have the flat rate, ask more questions and you can actually do the estimate over the phone. Do not waste your time, especially as a manager or an owner. Every minute of your day is very valuable, because a cleaning business can go very hectic. It can go, we have a lot of details on our day-to-day operations, and if you don't know how to manage your time, and if you don't know what are your priorities, you're going to create a very stressful, toxic environment. And especially if you are by yourself, sometimes you will end up going to clean the house because your cleaner's canceled and you're going to be on the phone. So make your life easy and make your day-to-day operation very smooth by knowing your priorities. A question so many cleaning business owners ask me often, which is, when do I hire office staff? So for years and years, I was managing my company by myself. I was the owner, I was the cleaner, I was the CEO, I was the bookkeeper. I was wearing all hats. When do you know that you need another person, and if you can afford them or not, is when literally you start forgetting things. I would start like messing up on the addresses, or not making mistakes on credit card numbers. Like I would get them wrong, or I would forget to go over my to-do list. So when you feel like you are overwhelmed and your day is literally hectic and you start forgetting things, this is the time that you need to hire someone. Don't be afraid of hiring someone. Don't think about it as an expense, or oh my God, it's gonna be $15 per hour and that's gonna be 40 hours a week, and that's out of my budget. Think about it as an investment, because now you will have someone else help you book more people, get back to all those missed calls and hot leads, and now you're gonna book even more. You can start with hiring someone part-time. That's what I did in the beginning. I hired this college girl who wanted a part-time job, and she helped me, I think, with 20 hours a week, and I did the rest. Especially those days when I go to do the estimates, she was there answering the phone calls and emails. So don't be afraid of hiring someone else, and if you feel like it's getting hectic, this is the right time. Now, if you have 1 or 2 office members and you still feel like it's hectic, that means you're doing good. Your business is growing. So you have to know that, look at your numbers and see if your jobs are increasing, if your cleaners are, you're hiring more people and your income is increasing. This is the right time to hire a 3rd and 4th and 5th person. And as you go and you grow people in your office, you will create jobs. Like I would have my right now I have my office manager, I have an accountant, I have an HR person who is exclusively, she is in charge of hiring cleaners, screening them, background checks, and then do the first initial interview, and I would go and do the second one. So as you grow, follow the needs of your business, and that's how you're gonna make your company successful and grows in a very speed time. So as we get to the end, I really thank you for watching this video, and I highly recommend that you watch other trainings that I offer on my course Mops to Millions. I have very detailed trainings on time management, on hiring cleaners, on trainings. I have so many good ideas that helped me grow my company when it comes to training cleaners, conducting meetings, using some digital applications and forms where you can be in contact with your cleaners all the time, how to hire reliable cleaners, where to find them, how to encourage them, how to have the same quality of cleaning no matter which cleaner you're sending to. I have other trainings about social media and tricks and tips. Don't hesitate to visit mopstomillions.com, and thank you for watching.